All righty, y'all, we are back with another episode. My setup is a little different. If you watch it on YouTube, I'm a little in the trenches today, but that's okay. You can't go through life without being down bad sometimes. Because when you get up on your feet, it be monumentous, okay?
Okay, Reverend Coleman. I didn't know you had it in you.
Listen, I keep telling people, are you going to see me in the pulpit on a Sunday? Maybe.
Okay.
Listen, if podcasting don't work out, I guess I'm being called to the Lord.
That's right. Listen, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you will see that we have a guest today. But before we get into our guest appearance, I want to say welcome to the Unapologetic Conversations with the Comans. I am your co-host, Dr. E.
And I'm your other co-host, Donald Coleman. And welcome to Unapologetic Conversations with the Comans. That never gets old. It will never get old.
It never gets old.
It's timeless. It's timeless, okay? Never expires.
And today, guys, we do have Miss Brittany Garrison on the podcast. Hello.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so, we're going to let the guest introduce herself. She is a strong, beautiful Black woman, y'all. She's a queen. So we're going to give her the floor to introduce herself, tell us what she does.
Awesome. Well, like I said, first of all, thank you to the Comans. Shout out to them for, I always, you got to give honor where honor is due. So definitely want to shout out to the Comans for reaching out and definitely connecting with myself to be able to share on their platform. So shout out to y'all. But like I said, my name is Brittany Garrison. I'm 28 years old. I am a full-time wife, full-time mom, full-time boss. I've been married to my husband. It'll be 3 years in October. We just had our first son, Caden Garrison. He is 6 weeks old. He is upstairs giving my husband the blues. And I'm a full-time boss. I've been an entrepreneur now for 5 years. I left corporate America space in 2016. Moved to Atlanta from DC, and I focus on now being a full-time leadership development coach, as well as a financial literacy coach, and helping people essentially just make money by understanding how to develop their skill sets in both leadership as well as their belief in being able to build large organizations that pay you a lot of money, as well as investment strategies to help people that look like us, especially really learn the rules and the principles around money and making money work for them. So that we don't have to be behind. We're already largely behind in the wealth gap. And so I think once we come across information, it's important for us to circulate it within the culture, within the community, so that we all can have the knowledge so that we can change the game. They knew why they didn't want to. They knew why they didn't want Wakanda to be a real thing.
Listen, y'all hearing it for yourselves, y'all. I think that's so dope. We need more Black literacy coaches and people in finance in those spaces, because it is crucial. We are behind in the generational, wealth gap, as you say. So I think it's so dope what you're doing. I feel like we need to have one in every school teaching, young Black children, especially, when you become an adult, how to manage finance. What is a credit score? What's a mortgage? People don't teach you these things. I wish if I had that growing up, I would be, not saying I'm not behind on the learning curve, but I think it would have definitely helped me catch up to speed as being an adult, especially in today's time financially. So yeah, that's really dope.
And I cannot wait to get more into it, Brittany, because when I seen you on Instagram, that's where we follow you, is on Instagram. And talking in spaces that usually people of color, we don't really have the knowledge to be able to speak in those spaces. That was the number one reason that Donald and I wanted to have you on today's podcast, to drop those jewels, give us those gems, and to make sure that financial literacy is something that we can pass on now in the social media world. It's right at our fingertips. Absolutely. And it's people like yourself that's creating platforms that make it easier for people like us to obtain that information. So I'm excited. I can't wait. But before we get into that, Donna, what are we sipping on today?
Listen, I was just about you reading my mind, sister. Like evil twin. But yeah, today I am drinking a double. This is a French Vietnamese coffee. I get from Sweetwater's Coffee Cafe. It's right down. There's one right down the street from me, but there's a bunch of different locations. And I ordered a double because I added extra condensed sweetened milk. And I also got liquid cane sugar. Because y'all know I'm a little bougie with my coffee. It has to be a certain way at this point. I get it from her, okay? My sister. Because y'all, when I tell you, if she had an ebook for her coffee recipe, she needs to get an ebook at this point. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking. That's what I'm drinking on today. I only got a double because I don't want to be jumping off the walls. Because if I had got anything larger than this, I would be like a pack rat in the gym. Like, just, I would be everywhere.
The colloquialisms, okay? Get into it.
Get into it.
So for me today, as usual, you guys know I am having my, let's say it together, my Starbucks, 2 pumps of peppermint, 4 raw sugar, right? I am now revitalizing my peppermint plants. Brittany, you probably don't know, I just recently moved. So my peppermint plant did not make the transition from my old apartment to my new apartment. So RIP out to my old peppermint plant. But with my new one, it's still a baby right now, so we're cultivating it. I did put a couple of the leaves in today. So it's giving the potency, but it's not as strong with my peppermint as it usually is. But I have the struggle is real coffee mug today because y'all, I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and get a quick workout in because I am training for my marathon before I had 5 clients today. So, and then this podcast. So the struggle is really real today, but entrepreneurship is something we're going to get into. And it's something that I'm excited about. And I'm excited that we have Brittany on the show to talk about it. So that gave me the motivation that I needed today.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yes. So Miss Brittany, what are you sipping on?
So listen, like I told y'all before, your girl is breastfeeding, new baby boy. And so I would love to have coffee. But we swapped out today for a little ginger tea. My mama just left town. She's been here for 6 weeks. And she has this ginger tea that she gets from this Chinese place from back home. And it's ginger crystals. It is by far the greatest ginger tea I've ever had. I went to school for music, and so I've done a lot of vocal stuff for a long time and speaking and all that stuff like that. So this tea, for anybody who's a public speaker or anybody in the music industry, this is heaven. And if you don't have it, I'm sorry for your loss. But other than that, yes, we on the ginger tea with a little honey, in the house mug.
Yeah, I was just gonna say ginger tea because I also drink tea. I love coffee. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I like to drink like black, like dark teas, like Irish. What is it? Irish breakfast. Or English muffin. I like to drink those because those have a slightly higher concentration of caffeine. But it's not like a coffee caffeine where you drink it and then like in 3 hours you crash. Like I noticed that tea gives you elevated boost throughout the day, which is nice because it's like a steady supply of it versus a coffee where it's like, all right, you up and then you down. Like, you know what I'm saying? So with tea, you can drink it in the morning and then it can kind of carry you throughout the, afternoon, the work day. But coffee, you have to like plan that out strategically. Like you better be like, all right, 12 o'clock. So that way at like 4 o'clock, I can go home and crash because that crash is coming, baby. You're not about to outrun that.
Yes, and I was going to talk about that ginger tea too, Brittany. My mom swears by it. Like, she is in Michigan and she goes to this health store and literally buys bags and bags of that ginger crystal tea. And it's so good. You don't need to put anything in it. No sugar, no lemon if you don't want to. It's good on its own. So shout out to Ruby out here doing things.
Shout out to Black moms and grandmas, because I swear they be having all the secrets. Like, listen, ginger ale, we're not even gonna talk about Vern's, okay? You sick?
That's Black people's like
listen, let me not get on this
there. That's the Black
podcast
people medical
give out the
doctor.
Black people gems, okay? Like, listen, sometimes we have to cultivate our own secrets, okay? Exactly. We have to gatekeep. So let me gatekeep that one. But moving on, we're gonna go into what tools and techniques did we use this week to better ourselves. So I'm gonna let you kick us off.
Honestly, like, this week was a really grueling week for me. As I told y'all when I was describing my coffee mug, I had an opportunity to wake up every day at 5 a.m. and get a workout in before my clients. And it's a learning technique for me this week because I'm able to see how my body can be pushed and challenged in a way that I usually don't do that. So it allowed for me to create space in the morning for not just running, like waking up immediately and I need to go run. I woke up, I was able to meditate. I was able to be grateful that God gave me enough strength to be able to be disciplined enough to provide this workout structure to myself. So I was proud of myself and I was able to sit in that, not only just after the workout, but to be able to sit in it before the workout and appreciate God giving me that mindset. So even when I went out on the trails, sometimes I would push myself like the 6 miles because I'm trying to run every morning at least 6 miles. If I didn't run the complete 6 miles or I stopped in between and I walked, I still created grace for myself to be able to say, okay, you might not have pushed yourself to be able to run the entire time, but you're out here. You showed up for yourself this morning. You were able to, despite yesterday's challenges, you were able to wake up today and be present in this moment and be present for yourself. So for everyone that is listening and tuning in, allow yourself to have grace this week. If it's a task that you woke up for and it might not be going as planned, create space to say, hey, at least I got up. I gave myself the opportunity to be present for this task. And I know that my higher power is showing me that whatever challenge that I'm going through this task, I can still make it because he gave me breath. He gave me air in my lungs, and he gave me the opportunity to wake up, to be present for today's task. So those were my tools and techniques that I used this week.
Yes, I resonate with that. I think, especially with that part where you say like to wake up early in the morning, there's actually a science behind that. I can't remember what article, like this is a long time ago, but I think between the hours of 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., that is our like most productive, like the time out of the day for most people, like 90% of us. That is like our time to be productive. And it's so crazy because we've been trained and conditioned like during those times you need to be asleep. When in reality, it's the whole opposite. So I think it's dope that you're using that time frame, that advantage to, because that's giving you a head start physically, mentally, because throughout the day, I know you mentally, you aware,
alert and oriented. Okay, that is very true.
So I know, like, you go throughout the day, like you're awake, you're present. Because when we wake up in that time frame, like our bodies are naturally, it's attuned, and we're like, all right, we need to jump up, get started. Train needs to be running. So I think that's really dope that you're using that to help you train for the marathon, which I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Girl, like, I'm excited to get out here and do the marathon, but it's just putting in the work has been difficult, guys. Like, man, like waking up and really being present for yourself. It's easy sometimes, and I say this all the time, we are so present for other people all the time. We show up for other people all the time, but actually showing up for yourself and being present for yourself and not making excuses is what the hurdles are for me. And that sometimes makes me want to stay in bed. So, but I'm doing it. It's going to happen.
Yes. Well, all the power to you, Queen. But we got to keep trucking on with this podcast. So our next topic, we're going to go into Stone of the Week. And this week's stone is the blue gold stone, y'all. It's very pretty. I don't know if you can see it.
It's focused.
Is it like? Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
And it sparkles like in certain light.
Now that we cannot see.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't see it probably because I'm on this iPad camera for today, y'all. I'm sorry. I got my good camera, but I can't even use it. But blue goldstone under certain light reflections, it has these little specks of gold in it. Hence why it's called blue goldstone.
Okay.
And it reflects in certain light, and it's a really good stone to have for dreams. So like if you are a vivid dreamer, but sometimes you may like not remember the dreams accurately, this is a really good stone to have. It's also very good for the throat chakra. So if you're like someone who struggles with communication, or if you're struggling with like relationships, or just maybe learn how to communicate with other people, this will be a really good stone to have. So like maybe in like a work office, like if you work in like now people are going back in the office, unfortunately. We was all loving the work from home vibe. So if you gotta go back in the office, get you a blue goldstone and keep it up with your coworkers, I guess. But yeah, that is stone of the week.
Okay. Nice. And I know, Brittany, you were telling us a little behind the scenes that you were in the creative space before and you did a lot of public speaking. And so that might be a good stone to be able to align to people that do that type of work as well. That's where my mind immediately went, was to our conversation earlier. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, brother.
Of course. And moving on, we're going to go ahead with enlightenment of the week. I'm gonna just let you carry away because these last couple ones been giving everyone goosebumps. You've been dropping gems, and I'll be having my net ready to catch. So what you got?
I'm telling y'all, I've been really trying to tap into my creative space in the morning. These 5 a.m. meditation times that I've been having with myself, it's like a self exploration for me, and it is allowing self inventory because my days are usually convoluted with private practice. In addition to, I do work here in the state of Georgia as well as a 9-to-5er. So I have a lot of different things that I feel like creates clouds in my space of creativity. So in the morning, I've been tapping in. So this morning, what I was able to tap into was talking about life is an interpretation of your perception. Perceive all life challenges as opportunities to grow, learn, and develop new techniques. Your resiliency and future self will thank you. And I'll say it again. Life is an interpretation of your perception. Perceive all challenges as opportunities to grow, learn, and develop new techniques. Your resiliency and future self will thank you. And I don't want to say success is something that I wanted to equate to that statement, but I want to say whoever it is that you're becoming, it doesn't mean that you're becoming the next Beyonce or the next billionaire or whoever that you are becoming and you're liking this person, own it. And know that a lot of the life struggles and challenges that you went through, they're not something that's made to defeat you. It has embodied this strong, resilient individual that's looking at you in the mirror. Look back at that person, own that person, and know that every challenge and pitfall that you have has made you this strong person that you are today. So that's just the state that I was in this morning. And I wanted to pay that forward today to you all.
I loved it. Definitely. Yeah, you've been understanding the assignment. You be going for extra credit.
Extra credit, not the overachiever.
Overachiever. And I'm gonna just leave it off like that. But and always thank you for sharing, of course. But yeah, moving on into our main topic, y'all. Being a Black entrepreneur and finances, y'all. We are here with Miss Brittany today, and she is going to be sharing us gems, okay, on how to, because it's something you have to learn, right? Being a person of color, we weren't taught certain things about, how to manage money and finances and entrepreneurship. And so when we have people in these roles, paying it forward, it's so dope to see, especially a Black woman, in itself is so powerful. So, just for a couple minutes, just kind of explain to us in the audience, like what do you do as like a financial coach and some of the work that you do.
Awesome. So again, thank y'all. Yeah, I have to do that. I have to pay homage at all times. But in regards to what I do, right? I'm in the investment space. There's a lot of people that have been talking about Forex, cryptocurrency. I was one of the people that was in the beginning, right? Where nobody was understanding it and everybody thought it was a scam. So, I was in that era of it. And, I think the biggest thing to discuss before I get into the details of what it is or what we do is understanding the mindset of the culture. And actually, let me swap that, because if I get into the mindset, I ain't never gonna tell y'all what I do for real. So what we do is we have an educational platform that teaches people about the investment space. So like I shared with y'all, corporate America, I used to work for the federal government. I'm from DC. I moved to Atlanta in 2016 with intent to be in the entertainment industry on the business side. So I have a master's in business entertainment, and entertainment business. And that's how long it's been since I've done it, obviously. But, being in a space where I thought that what I had done all my life was all I could do until I went in to get my master's in business. And what I paid more attention to wasn't the entertainment, was the business. And so now I'm in a space where I'm in the field, I'm working at a studio, I'm working, doing marketing and all that kind of stuff like that, which it switched my focus from I want to be in the entertainment industry to I just want to help people. And I want to help people's visions and their dreams come to life. And so, what I was now looking for is how could I do that? And so shout out to Instagram, because Instagram is everything to me. Because my mentor, there was just somebody I was following, and Ebony, you might have heard of the Circle of CEOs out here in Atlanta. Justin Owens is my mentor. And so 5 years ago, I was just following different entrepreneurs in the city. So Maddie J and all that kind of stuff like that. And so from Maddie's page, I found Justin, and Justin was having an event. It was called a Millionaire Mixer. And, I'm like, I want to be a millionaire. I need to mix with these people. This is going to get me rich. I get it. Let's do it. So I sent him a DM and was like, hey, I want to be at your event. And, he sent me the address and asked for my number. And my husband and I went to this event. And that's where I got into network marketing. And that's another Black, do not touch this space. Everybody thinks network marketing is a scam. Nobody makes any money, etc. Right? And so, I've always just been a rebel, what people call me in my family, like the person that just does not listen to what people tell them to do and does everything the opposite. And so in this space now, I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get into network marketing. And then we were in another company with network marketing. And then we transitioned into the Forex space in 2017. And so, like I said, so what we do in a nutshell is educating people on investing. Because there's a lot of people that are hearing about Forex, they're hearing about cryptocurrency. We've even extended even to e-commerce space. But there's so many people that hear about this stuff, but what people don't do is get educated. And so what happens is you don't have the knowledge, so you don't understand. And what we don't understand, we tend to speak against, that, for lack of better words. Like, we have to find a way why it doesn't make sense for us due to lack of knowledge and understanding. Not because it doesn't work, but because we don't understand it. Because some of us are just too smart for our own good. And what that means is we want to be the smartest in the room all the time, that if I don't know about it or understand it, then it can't be real and it does not work. Right. And so I decided not to be on that end of the sticks, because the truth of the matter is I was broke. And I don't feel like when you're broke, you can have options. Like, you need to try whatever you can to get something to happen for you. And so that was me. That was the space. That was the mindset I was in, because from corporate America, I was a saver. And so this is now getting into the finance stuff. I grew up in a household where my parents always say, don't spend all your money. You need to save it. And so when I decided to move to Atlanta, It was actually after I had come to visit a friend, and I was starting a new job. And this job was paying me $50,000 a year. I'm rich at this point in my mind because I'm 22. You know what I'm saying? So I'm 22 and I'm about to be making, what you say? I think I'm 22 or 23. Yeah, maybe 23. One of those. Who cares? Right? No,
listen, age is just a social construct. Okay.
You feel me? I think I was 22. So I'm 22 years old making $50,000 a year. That's a lot of money because I just got out of college. Right? I hadn't even been out of college. I've probably been out of college maybe like a year. No, maybe like 6 months. And so now my mind is going to, okay, what can I learn so that I could do something different? Because at the end of the day, I saved $20,000 to move to Atlanta, but when you don't have any money coming in, that money goes really fast because you got bills now. I was rich because I was living with my mama and I was making that kind of money. You know what I mean? And so when I transitioned and now I was understanding, by the time this opportunity rolls around to me, I have a $200 check that I got that day. So this $20,000 person, the person that always has money, doing all this stuff, is now down to $200. So I didn't have a choice. And so did I understand it? No. Did I know what was going on? No. But I understood that, one, they told me it was an educational platform that's going to teach me. So I really didn't need to know anything, but I could learn everything. And then in network marketing, what I saw was, I know y'all probably been to one of them meetings that somebody dragged you to and you got, you know what I mean? And so, I tell people all the time, I get it. But when I saw the information, this is all I saw. I saw that they told me if I talk to enough people, I can make $10,000 a month. And if I can make $10,000 a month, my mind said, I'm rich. Like if I can make $10,000 a month, nobody's ever going to be able to talk to me again. I'm about to move. That was my mindset. And so that's what we do. We educate people on investment strategies and how to really understand how to do it for yourself in those arenas. And then we teach people, the leadership part comes in when you're teaching people how to lead people through helping them accomplish their goals with this platform. Like there's so many people that get involved in what we do because they want a better life. They want to learn how to do something with their money. And so now I lead an organization of well over 3,000 individuals, teaching them how to multiply their money through this platform. But there's a handful of them who want to build a business as well and pretty much lead people as well. So I'm a leader of leaders, and that's our focus. But network market, I tell people all the time, if you're listening to me and you've heard all the horror stories about Forex, crypto, and network marketing, shoot whoever told you that, because they're stopping you from an experience that you can make your own assessments. Now, I tell people all the time, 100% transparency, what I do is for absolutely anybody, but it's not for everybody. Everybody body is different. You know what I'm saying? And some people, I just heard this morning. I was actually in a conference before. I was at a conference virtually before I hopped on here, and the speaker said, he said, if your why doesn't make you cry, which is why you're doing whatever it is you're doing, he said, if your why doesn't make you cry, the need to be committed to what you're saying you're going to do is going to be too high. The price that you're going to have to pay to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish for who you want to accomplish it for, the commitment is going to be way too high because you're not really bought into it. And so being broke, my husband was working a job, to allow me the freedom to pursue entrepreneurship. And I felt like it was disrespectful for me to not win, because he hates what he's doing and he's getting up every day to go do it, but he's doing it because I didn't come here for a job. And so I had to honor the sacrifice that he was making by finding something that was going to allow me to win, to get him off his job, So, just different goals and stuff like that. But that's what I do, but so, like I said, if I get into all that other stuff, we're really going to be here all day.
But I want to get into that other stuff just a little bit, right? Because that's just the type of person I am, right? So when you were on the crux of talking about the mindset, right? Of course, since I come from a psychology background, my antennas immediately went up. In the African American Black culture, we do have a lot of stigma around this is a pyramid scheme, or this is something that we just don't do because it's a scam, or they're out trying to get you this. So when you talk about that, Brittany, how were you able to, one, educate yourself to be able to uplift your mindset out of that stigma? And two, how are you able to lead other people that are coming in with that mindset to be success stories and to be elevated out of that mindset?
I think exactly what you said is education. And so the biggest thing that I had to understand was this, right? And I hope y'all came to take notes on this, but I had to realize that the people that most of us listen to that help aid in our decision making are individuals that I wouldn't be willing to change my life and exchange it for yours. And so that was like,
honestly, say that part again.
Say it again for the people in the back.
I tell people all the time, if you're going to take the opinions of people, you have to be willing to take on their lifestyle, because I'm making my choices based off of what this person has said. And so I have to now look at their life and say, is that what I want? And when I actually learned that principle, it changed everything about everything for me, because it wouldn't really matter. I didn't actually worry about the information anymore. I didn't worry about what I was hearing, who I was hearing it from. I always evaluated the person's life. And can I take this advice? Now, that's not to say there's people like, you know, I have different people that I listen to in different arenas, right? I have business coaches, I have success coaches, but then I have people that I might not necessarily listen to that I listen to in business about marriage or about raising kids, like, you know, or about going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important that if you're going to make decisions based on what people tell you, then now you have to be willing to change your lifestyle. So everybody that told me this wasn't going to work, everybody told me that it was a scam, everybody told me not to do one of those things, I had to evaluate where they were at that age or where they were in life period. And I 100% did not want anything that they had. See, because the individual that was introducing the information to me, the person that was showing him was making $100,000 a month. And so no shade to 9-to-5ers, because I worked a 9-to-5. I worked it very well. I was, like I said, that was what got me into my entrepreneurship realm. So I never knock a 9-to-5. I tell people all the time, that's what's going to get you to, it's your first investment to your dreams and your goals. But what I had to understand was, if a 9-to-5 is not my portion, if that's not what I'm trying to do in my life, then I can't necessarily take on the mentality and the mindset of somebody who has one, and they're telling me based off of those principles. And so what that means is, a lot of people that, one, our parents' generation, their parents' generation, and a lot of people now, like my siblings and these younger kids, they don't want to work a job ever in their life. And so their mindset is, yo, what can you show me that I can do that I can make whatever amount of money I want to make, and I don't have to worry about clocking in nowhere? Those people, they have a different, like these kids, these in high school and college now, you know, up to about 22, 23, their mindset is completely different. Our generation, I don't know how old I am, I'm 28, right? And our generation is like, I've worked the job, I don't like the job, so I need to find a way out of this job, but it needs to sustain me, and I'm gonna stay as long as I have to because I got bills to pay. Our parents are like, no risk, no harm, no foul. I'm not doing that. And so anything that has, like I said, if we don't understand it, and I think that's the worst part about the Black culture, is that we're not willing to be educated before we speak on things. And so that was what I had to do when it came to network marketing, when it came to Forex, when it came to crypto, because I didn't know anything about that stuff. And I've been in network marketing companies before, and I sucked. The company I was in before this, I made $35 in a year. $35. So why would I do it again, knowing that all I made was $35? It's understanding, leadership skills start with people who lead you with vision, because my mentor didn't have any results. He didn't know anything about this. You know what I'm saying? He said, I believe that this is going to be something that's going to help you get to what you want. Because he knew I was broke too. Like, you knew what I knew. And so I used my last $200 to join a company that, knowing I didn't have results, knowing the person I was leading, that was leading me didn't have results, but that I believed that what we were about to do would allow us to get it. So I had to get educated, one, on what Forex really was. And then I realized, oh, actually, this is how the banks make their money on us every day. Oh, wow. So I'd rather listen to somebody who's working full time. And it's not that the job is bad, it's that most people hate what they're doing. I don't hate the job, because if you had a job that you were in love with, that's a different story. You know, and we need people to work. I don't want, no entrepreneur. I need this brain surgeon to keep doing brain surgery. You don't get to be an entrepreneur. I tell people that all the time. Like, some people, I be like, look, you need to do what you do, because you don't get to be an entrepreneur.
I know that's right.
But, there's some individuals that are literally unhappy with their life. They're unhappy with where they are. They're unhappy with how much they're making, how much they're able to save, or what they can't do. And so for me, it's like, look, I'm not willing to be in that space of unhappiness as I get older, because I turned 25 as soon as I started doing this. So I joined when I was 24. I'm about to be 29 this year. And in 4 years, I've watched so much change for me because I decided to get educated. Now, when it comes to network marketing, you know, like you said, our culture, it's a stigma to say, no, don't do that. People don't make any money. Well, you know, people that I'm connected to, my mentor, my personal mentor, right? The person that signed me up that I said didn't have any results, he makes $120,000 a month. But remember what I told you is that when we started, the person that was leading him was making $120,000 a month. So because you followed the right person, you're making $120,000 a month. And because I followed him, well, guess what? I'm literally on the verge of making $120,000 a month. And so that shows me that it's the same thing. The principle works either way. It's just whose opinion you're willing to take, right? And so the person he's connected to, his mentor, I've literally watched him have $1 million days. I've watched, you know, my friends that used to eat Vienna sausages and donate plasma for $20 make $3.3 million in 6 months last year, and just bought a brand new at the end of 2020 in a pandemic. So let's add on the fact that people were getting way richer in a pandemic and they look like us. Typically, they don't look like us because we don't have the right information. And so I had to educate myself on network marketing because, like you said, it's a pyramid scheme, right? Let's tackle that. I used to get offended by that. I used to attack people like, no, your job is a pyramid scheme. Like, you the one going to work and you don't have, like, I used to do all that stuff. But that was before I got educated. What I had to understand is, okay, network marketing is just a profession. It's just a profession where the person at the top does make all the money. They say, right, the person at the top makes all the money. But in contrary to a job, the person at the top makes all the money. The difference between network marketing and a full-time position is that the person at the top always is a new person at the top. So if I start, my mentor, he's at the top. But when I joined and I decided to build a business for myself, I became a top. And the people that I lead in business become their own tops. And the difference being that there's no cap to how much money you can make and you can out earn me. What people say is the reason people use the pyramid scheme wording is because they're like, oh, the person at the top makes the most money. And it's true because they're doing the most work. That's what I had to understand. When they say the person at the front makes the most money, I said, the reason why I never made any money was because I never got to the front. I never did the work. And so I had to understand that it's a skill set that you had to learn. It is a business that I had to learn. If I don't understand this business, I don't understand how to advance in the business. But the difference is y'all can come join what I do today and make more money than me if you outwork me. And when people don't understand that I have to work, that's what happens. They go to these meetings, they get excited, they see the money, they hear the stories. But when you got to actually go pick up your phone and call somebody that you know, oh, now you scared. And now you have to, you actually end up having to address your personal inflictions and the things that you have challenges with, which isn't that network marketing is a scam. It's not that it's a pyramid scheme because you got to go get somebody who gets somebody who gets somebody. No, you actually are afraid of talking to people because you're afraid of rejection. So when I started to dissect all these different things, it made me enjoy the journey of who I was self-discovering and the things that I was having to learn, correct, adjust. I'm still in that period today. Like I haven't gotten to everything that I desire because there's more things for me to learn, right? But what happens with network marketing in the Black community is that people will go ahead and speak on it and influence somebody's decision. And because most people aren't taught how to think. I know I told you I could go. Because most people aren't taught the skill set of actually thinking for themselves. They adopt the opinions of other people and they never get their chance of what to do. And I tell people all the time, like I had a friend who traveled overseas. Let's go into the whole Forex thing. People who don't understand what Forex is, if you've ever been out of the country and you had to exchange the US dollar for whatever that country's currency is, that's what Forex is. It is the foreign exchange market, exchanging of currencies, right? And so like I went to London last year right before the pandemic and I couldn't use the US dollar. And London's money is just, I mean, it is out of pocket. Like an Uber out there was like $80 just to go up the street. Anyway, but that's beyond the point. Now let me get on that tangent. But that's literally what's happening. And so when you think about being at the bank and you see all those different countries and all those numbers that's flickering and all that stuff, it's like you actually realize this is where the education comes in again. I went to the airport, I've been at the bank, I've seen it at the malls, these currency exchange booths, but I never thought of those as a scam. They've been in front of us all the time, but when you don't know that you can capitalize off of it or how to, then when somebody brings it to us, and the crazy part is, and the worst part about it, I won't even say it's crazy, the sad part about it is that other cultures, when they're brought this same information, they don't respond the way the Black community does. We respond.
And I want to hold that part right there, because do you guys know who Gary Vee is? Mm-hmm. Gary Vee, right? So he's a white man, right? He's probably, I would say what, in his late 30s, early 40s?
He's definitely like 50.
Is he? He looks good. Gary Vee, you look good.
He's old though.
Okay, but honestly, I wanted to hit on that part. I wanted to hold you there because he looks like what people are in network marketing should look like. He speaks with a confidence because he already knows that he has the audience just walking in. You have challenges just based upon what you look like. Mm-hmm. You don't look like a Gary Vee.
And let's not add on the fact that I'm a woman.
And you're a woman on top of that. But you said a lot of key points, because not only did you speak about the foreign exchange and you broke down what that is, you also talked about that you educated your personality, you educated your confidence, you educated who you are right now, sitting in front of us and speaking very well about what you do. And I wanted to talk about that piece. I wanted to reflect it back to what you said, right? Investing. I invested in my education. Donald is investing in his education. You invested in yourself to be able to sit here, right here today, speak with confidence and talk about what it is that you do because you invested in it and it's working for you. For people that are scared, because it's scary, it's unknown, that's sitting here listening, they have $200 and they want to invest in you. What does that look like? What does that investment look like for them in, let's say, 6 months if they work the program? Or if they come to a class and they have this $200, what does that investment look like for them to be able to leave there, feel confident, and know like, okay, this is going to work for me?
The truth of the matter is, I tell everybody, it's based off of you. It's not one size fit all. And that's the part people don't want to hear. People want to hear me tell you, yo, if you do this, you're going to make $1 million in 6 months. That's not true. And that's the other thing I will say is that it's not all based off of the people. It's also based off of how people have marketed it to them, in which they don't believe. Because one thing you asked me earlier too was like, how do I lead people? Is that we have to make it believable. Don't tell everybody I made $500 in one day and I retired from my job. If you did, you're retarded. You're like, you're literally not with us. Like something is wrong, because if I don't believe you, because I understand that I can't retire from nobody's job off $500 one time. So you also have to be believable. And so I'm very transparent when I tell people, if you do nothing, nothing will happen for you. What happens is a lot of people are willing to invest in a lot of things, right? eBooks, you see something online, I'm gonna get this course. I mean, people do it all the time. I'm a victim of doing it, right? And what happens is we'll go ahead and invest all this money into all these things, and then we will never open it up. And so what I tell people is 100% you have to understand, if you do nothing, nothing will happen for you. But what people think is because I paid for it, something should happen for me. And so you have to actually engage. Now, when I started, I told you I started with my last $200, and I caught myself sitting on the couch watching Netflix. I caught myself. So I get it 100%, because I had to tell myself, Brittany, you're broke. What are you doing? Well, you're doing the same broke things you were doing before. You got access to something that was the foreign exchange market, just for y'all reference, is a $6.6 trillion a day industry. And when we started with crypto, it was growing towards $1 trillion industry, and it's grown to a $2 trillion industry. So I'm actually in the midst of a revolution. And so what happens is most people just don't do anything. So if you want to know what the 6 months looks like for you, you tell me. Because only thing I can guarantee anybody is that I know how to help you make money. That part is a fact. Last year, we were able to help 10 individuals make 6 figures in a pandemic from home. You're talking about at a minimum of $10,000 on a monthly basis at the crib. So I know for a fact that we know how to help you make money. The question is, if you know that that's what I can do, are you willing to do everything that I tell you to do so that you can get what it is that you want? And that's where it goes back to why you want what you want. Because $10,000 a month, for some people, it doesn't move them. For some people, it's what you can do if you had it. And so for the people that need to know what could I do if I had it, then that's where your why comes in, your goals come in. And like I said, I couldn't quit on my husband. I couldn't quit on his commitment to me. I had to win. I had to get him off his job so that we can do what it is that we're trying to do together. And so it's really understanding what it is that you want in 6 months. Tell me how much money you want to make. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to be required of you in order for that to happen. When people understand that there's something that you have to do, and there's some things that you might not like doing, right? There's people who come home from work and they're like, oh, can y'all hear my baby screaming?
No.
Okay.
No.
We just so, when people realize that there's a commitment I too have to make, or something I have to do, or I have to open this up, I have to actually look at the information, or you can learn how to copy and paste. Like, we have tools that we've created to make it simple for people to be able to make moves and be able to be profitable, because we understand that learning is going to take you time. And so because we understand that learning will take you time, we put together these products and these services that are actually going to help you make money as you're going through that process of mastering, because that part's going to take you some time. And that's what people have to understand. But what happens is, like I said, is people pay their money and they don't do anything. Or they pay their money, they start their trading account and they have $50 to invest, and they want this $50 to become $200,000. And that's also unrealistic, right? And the reason why it's unrealistic is because they want it to happen in 6 months. It might take you $50, and then you got to have in a perfect world that every trade is on point. So what I tell people is that's where network marketing, that's where our company is so powerful, is because now I can go share this information with somebody else, unlock some doors by giving them the keys to them, right? And then I'm able to create a secondary income where I can use somebody else's money. See, remember, I didn't have any money. So I didn't have a choice. I needed to find a way to create some more capital to allow me to now be able to invest effectively so I can create the results that I wanted. And so that's where they actually work hand in hand with each other. But what happens is, I don't want to talk to people. I don't like sales. Hey, listen, you don't have a choice. And I think when people kind of move with that mentality of like, this is heart attack serious for me, right? Like, the sense of urgency that I had at 25 when I just didn't have any money is significantly different, because now I have a child. So yes, I've had some success, and yes, we've been able to do some great things, but now my mindset goes to, well, I got to do a lot more, because I have to set him up so that the ceiling of my life is the floor to his. And that's what changes things when we talk about that wealth gap, is that a lot of these other children, they're coming into trust funds. I was just watching some information in regards to real estate, because we're, looking at getting into the housing market in regards to ourselves and buying a house. And, I was listening to some entrepreneurs here in Atlanta, and they were talking about how white families, what they do is they'll buy a house, and when their child is going to college, they take out an equity line from themselves to pay for their full tuition. But we have student loans. Why? Because we haven't been taught stuff like that. So I need to do a lot more for the next 18 years so that the ceiling of my life is the floor to his, and that it's a very high floor. Right. And so when it comes to people and their $200, it's like, okay, your $200 is literally just the entry. That's you getting in the door. Now, are you willing to invest your time? Which I tell people, give yourself an hour a day. Or are you willing to get uncomfortable? Right. If you get off work and you're like, oh, I don't want to study or look at anything or try, like, honestly, let's forget all the other words. Try. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not willing to try because I had a long day. You're going to keep having long days for the rest of your life because you're not doing anything that's going to change that. And so the bottom line boils to that $200 is incredible to start, to get you in the door. to get you access to people like myself, to people like my mentors, you know, individuals that are actually going to teach you. Really, if I'm being 100%, investing, Forex, crypto, network marketing, that is like 20% of what we do. Everything else is actually helping you have a mindset shift to understand. Like literally, my mentor is having a conference right now in Orlando. It's called the Believe Nation event, where he literally has spent 3 days teaching people how to believe, how to master your mind and understand how to, okay, what do I want? I want to withdraw 6 figures from the foreign exchange market. Well, I have a sign that's next to me that says that's what's already happened. And I'm grateful that it's already done. I have a sign that says we earn $100,000 a month. I have a picture that shows what's going to be shown when it happens. And so it's really understanding these other principles around success, around money, all that kind of stuff. That's what's really going to help you make what it is you want to make. It's not just the $200. It's not any of that. It's really learning how to think and learning how to understand how to believe and create the life that you want. This is just the vehicle that's going to take you there. That's it.
Make me so proud to have this conversation with you, to see you as a fellow Black woman that's out here doing it.
I appreciate it.
And shifting mindsets and creating positive psychological thought processes for people to see more than what their environment may have shown them. Oh, yes. I want to start by saying thank you. You keep saying thank you to the Colemans, but I want to say thank you. And here on the Unapologetic Conversations with the Colemans, we like to give people their flowers while they're alive to be able to see them and to smell them. And Black woman, you are doing the work.
Thank you.
You are doing the work. And even if someone listened for a second, you empowered them to see life from a different lens. You empowered them to see that if I'm working that 9 to 5, I still need to have energy to get off to invest into me if I want different. So I want to say, if no one took anything else from what you said, they need to take that. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
I know you got something to say. I see you shaking your head.
I know, because I resonate, so much with that. And like my sister said, thank you, because we, like I said earlier on in the episode, like we need more people that look like us in these spaces, because if we don't, it's forever going to be playing a game of catch up. Like we will always be behind the 8 ball. We will always be behind the learning curve. So when we have people like you, educating and paying it forward, it's reducing that gap. So like you said, for your child, your ceiling will be his floor. And that was so powerful right there, because like, I know, and you agree with it too, like that was so powerful, because it's literally, it's you are what we need most in our community without even realizing it. Right? Just not only as being a Black woman, being a Black mother, like in these spaces, being a full-time boss, but also being a full-time mom, like that ain't easy. So for you to also helping other people achieve their dream, that's nothing short of amazing. So truly thank you. Honestly, like I know you're just over here like, oh my God, like I came on here for this, but it's true though. Like
we see you doing the work, right? I see you on Instagram, my brother see you on Instagram, and we were truly honored that when we reached out to you, even in such short notice, you reached back and you were like, sure. It wasn't, well, how much money am I gonna get paid? Or what do I need to do? You were like, let's do it. Okay, what is it? Okay, what kind of session is this? Okay, let's go for it. Because you are pouring into people and not thinking that you need to receive something. Your blessings are unfolding without you even really thinking that I'm supposed to get this blessing. It's coming unconsciously. Mm-hmm. Your blessings are coming unconsciously because you're pouring into others and you don't know who you're pouring into. You don't know what people see in you that you might not even see in yourself, and want to reflect that in a way by giving back to you. And that could be spiritually. That could be financially. You don't know who's praying for you in abundance, but we are here. We're praying for you.
I appreciate
we
it.
See the journey and we appreciate you. Blessings upon blessings upon blessings.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all. Really, I do. Really, I do. And I think that's really what it's about, because I understand. This is my mission. My mission in life has always been whatever I learn, I'll be willing to give back to other people. Now, is there an investment? Yes. It ain't. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Okay. But what I tell people is that I made it my life's mission that whatever it was that I learned, that I was willing to share with other people, because I grew up being the person that would ask questions. Hey, how do you do that? Or how do I get into real estate? How do I do, oh, you flip properties? I'm talking about like at the person's house, asking them, and their response was always, if you work hard, you'll have everything that you want. And I never understood what the hell I was working hard doing to get what it was that you had. And so I made it a dedication, declaration to myself to say that I would never withhold, right? That's to say, because of the network marketing stigma, or like I said, what we do is for anybody, but it's not for everybody. That I have friends, all of them, that have not joined me in business, or they haven't been successful because of, own personal reasons. But that doesn't stop me from saying, hey, y'all, I've invested in this cryptocurrency, or hey, I'm looking at this stock, or blah, 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 to make sure that the conversation is still translating, whether you've joined me in business or not, whether you stayed with me in business or not, because I believe that what we're doing is going to transform so many more lives if the focus is on how much can I serve? And that's what leadership is. That's where wealth comes from. Those that serve the most earn the most. And that's why, this was nothing short of course, hey, I mean, because at the end of the day, we make time for what it is we want to make time for, right? I know my husband is like, what is happening and why are you still on there? And how long are you about to be? Because your son, I know he just came out here to make him a bottle. So I know he's like, you need to be upstairs. You know what I'm saying? But even in that, being able to, for us to work as a team to be able to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish collectively. Because like I said, if you go back to that why, you go back to those goals, right? Like you said, you don't know who's going to hear this. And I pray that y'all are expanded so much more. Your reach is going to definitely change, just because of what you're willing to do, what you're willing to share, who you're willing to reach out to. There's some people that want to talk with people that are afraid to reach out to them. And so because you guys are going to done this, this is just the beginning. I don't know how many listeners you have right now, but whatever the number, it's the smallest it'll ever be. And I can't wait to watch.
We felt that. We just over here like, we watching on YouTube. We was over there like.
I don't know how many views you got right now, but it is the least amount that it'll ever be. And so I'm excited to be able to be connected to you guys, to watch now what's going to happen for you all. Just because you're willing to give and you're willing to share information and do what it is to change the culture.
And for everyone that is loving everything that you have brought today, want to hear more and just connect with you, please drop us your social medias.
Yes, you can follow me at Brittany Donnell. That's BRITTANY. D is in dog, N is in Nancy, ELLE, Brittany Donnell. And then you can go to my website from there at winwiththegarrisons.com, WINWITH, thegarrisons.com. And you can see all the information in regards to what it is that we're doing. And how you can connect with us and tap in. Let's make some money together, because trust me, I'll drop my goals. Goals. We're going to help 50 people make 6 figures by the end of this year. So, if that's you, that's something you want to tap into, and you're willing to do the work, let's get to it and let's get it back.
And if you ever need us for anything, whether it's coming on the platform to talk about new business ventures, something that you want to share with the culture, please always tap in and we'll definitely be aligning to you. I'm in Atlanta, so if you have any networking events that's going on, trust me, I will be there. Bells and whistles, just let me know. Yeah, okay.
Listen, I'm right here.
Thank you. Gotta come to the A, Don.
Exactly.
I do. I need to listen. If y'all catch me at the airport, don't say nothing. If y'all catch me on the boarding plane, just mind your business.
Look the other way. Okay.
Look the other way. But no, we like to thank you so much again. I know we're about to wrap up because, like you said, you got a son to take care of. You got business to handle. So yeah, thank you for your socials. Is there what would be your last piece of advice you would give to someone watching if they were curious or interested in investing? Like what final segue of advice would you give to someone?
For anybody who's interested in investing, find somebody who's willing to give you access to the information. I am not the most knowledgeable. I know what I know, but I'm going to give you access to who knows more than me, who teaches me. I think it's not about what you know, or who you know. It's about who you know that's willing to teach you what they know, and then give you access to the people that they know so that you can get the full spectrum. And so be willing to connect with people and invest into yourself. Everything's going to come with a price, and don't think because it has a price that people are trying to get you. No. Everything that any transformation that you're expecting in your life is going to have a transaction connected to it. And so, once you make that transaction, you're really putting out your seed on faith to say, I believe that what I touch is going to change my life. And this opportunity or whatever it is that you're connecting yourself to is going to change your life. And so be willing to invest into your education, be willing to invest into yourself, and then be willing to do the work when you swipe that card. Be willing to do something and stop wasting your money all the time on all these things that you ain't never going to do. It's not enough to be an excited person. It's not enough to be the person that's willing to invest. You have to be the person that's willing to apply once you invest so that you can get the results from the investment that you deserve, right? And really understand that believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. And that is my final number.
And drop the mic, Mrs. Brittany Garrison. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all so much for having me, like I said.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was a dope episode. Y'all, we got to do the drill. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Boost that algorithm all the way up. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit the bell icon, because when you do that, you never miss a beat. Like, it'll be like, yo, they just dropped a new episode. Like, you might want to click this link and go watch it. But yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Instagram. All of that stuff will be linked down below. Brittany's socials will be linked down below. So if you're trying to tap in with her, I would recommend go get that bag. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode. Another gem drops. Bye, guys.